Muhammad and Buddha and everything, like, can't God reveal himself, like, to them? Like, why is it so special with Jesus if he like, loves all people? And how come he would sin such a narrow way?
First of all, I have to be careful when it comes to God, this is how many ways there should be to get to heaven, to get to you. I'm not God. It's God who's going to determine. Now, if God said there were 10 ways to go to heaven, well, I'd be pushing for, well, what about 11 and 12? If God were to say there are 100 ways to heaven, I'd be pushing for, what about 101 and 102? I have to allow God to be God. And I can promise you one thing, folks, this boy is not God. So the question is, God, what have you established? Now, the claim of Jesus is that God has given us one way, which is through his death on a cross, because that is the vehicle through which God offers us forgiveness. Now, when you study the Buddha, you have to realize he was agnostic when it came to God. Not once does the Buddha talk about God. Now, after the Buddha dies, his followers deify him. But Buddha spoke about nirvana, but he never once spoke about God. When you read the Quran, you realize that Muhammad had far more respect for Jesus than a typical American, but Muhammad would never have allowed Jesus to die on a cross. Therefore, you don't have his death, you don't have his resurrection, and repeatedly in the Quran, Muhammad writes, Jesus is not God. But in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Jesus claims to be God.